Aloha, Flow Riders. Welcome to the flow.
Hello.
Today, we got specialty guests. Today, our specialty guest is going to be Marielou because Katie can't talk. And it's like, okay, Jill can do it. Well, Jill can't talk either. Then Paul is sick. My whole team is sick. Like everybody is sick except me because number one, I'm not human. I am an experiment. So I don't get sick. And I swear to you, I literally, knock on wood, I kind of chalk it up to the fact that because I don't have, these little wee children's, I have a stronger like sort of immune system. Also, I think the other half of it is I live in a place where the weather changes constantly, and I grew up as a free range child. Like I ate dirt. Okay, like I did all the dumb stuff you're not supposed to do because
Right.
my mom, I don't know, my grandma thought it was okay for us to eat dirt. My mom didn't, but grandma outrules. So I think I have a brutal system because I just ate a bunch of stuff. And when you grow up poor, you eat stale food all the time. So you also have a strong
So we were built for this.
Built like a tank. I was talking to Sally about that yesterday.
If you're watching, you're a different show.
Right. Sally's from Australia, and then she also grew up as a free-range Australian farm girl. So she says, yeah, like, mom was like, just cut the mold off and keep eating. Yeah, all us poor kids know that feeling. Please don't do that. It's not good. I found out later as an adult, it's not a good look, but as a kid, cheese, cut it off.
Right, when you're trying to survive, right? You survive. You survive how you can.
Okay, we're not talking about my free range eating moldy food. And Demetra is laughing at us already. Yeah, see, Matt says expiration dates are more of a suggestion. Agreed, Matt. All right. Now, today we are going to be talking about community, and let's run back real quick. I know Katie gave you the full rundown, Marielou, because you are the consummate producer. The way we do this is on the first week of the month, we kind of bring what our outline topic is. And we're talking a little bit about community and growing community and things of that nature. And then on the next week, we'll bring in a subject matter expert. And then on the third week, we'll do what it is that we're supposed to do. And then on the fourth week, we'll do mailbag, which is my favorite. Right now, I am freaking in love with mailbag. So much fun. And especially because Matt and George keep sending me good questions. But on Mailbag, what the people can do is they get to send us a video. You can do it. You can do it, Marielou. You're allowed. You put your phone normal, Matt. Normal. Normal's not a word. What's the word I'm looking for? Hold on.
Landscape.
That's the one. I just had my road thingy in my hand. So you can go like this. The best thing about the road thing is just how practical it is for stuff like this. Put your phone in this mode here. And then make a little video and say what your problem is, or your computer, whatever. And then we answer them live on the interwebs, which is a lot of fun. But today we're starting out with community. And I love this. Community, one of my favorite topics. Okay, so let's dive in, people. Remember, if you have questions, drop them in. And anybody watching this on the replay, you're allowed to leave questions over there too, because what we'll do is we'll come in and answer them suckers. And I have this new thing that I'm really falling in love with that I'm going to try to do pretty much every day this month is I'm going to answer questions on the comments in my feed using the new using the audio reply mode. YouTube rolled out this feature and it got a little bit of noise, but a bunch of stuff happened at that time having to do with the straight and gas prices. So I think a lot of people forgot about it, but people leave you a question. Like, so if Demetra leaves me a question on my channel, I can leave her an audio message. And so this week, we've been having a lot of fun with Demetra and her audio because we were floored. She's in her house, and where her kitchen like island is or whatever, it is the perfect audio landscape. She's talking in a MacBook Air mic, and we're like, wait, what mic is she using? And she's like, oh, the one built into my computer. And all of us nerds are like, nah, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not
Like,
real.
put that down.
So, yeah. So somewhere in her lovely house or her spanakopita, I'd say spanakopita, which is the correct way, first way or second way. The echoes of her spanakopita makes it sound better in her house. And I'm gonna just find an excuse to go
Wow.
to Demetria's house to eat because I discovered she knows how to make my favorite soup. Anyway, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Okay, so I guess the real thing about community is so many people are still tied on the word audience, right? And you know me, I'm forever cranking into people like you got to switch that word to community. They listen to you more than me. So how would you frame that?
Well, okay, think about yourself as a consumer of content, right? Do you prefer being someone that's talked at or talked with? And both is okay depending on the scenario, right? So, like, when I'm going to, like, a Broadway show, I want them to I wanna be in the audience, like, "Don't look at me, I'm not here. I'm here to observe and enjoy." But then that also goes into the bigger thing of, like, musical theater community, because then there's people you can talk to afterwards, and there's more beyond the actual thing that you consume. So that's kind of where I see the delineation of audience is, like, kind of a one-time transaction. You perform, you do the thing, they have it, it's over. Community goes beyond that. Now we can have a continued conversation. Now, if they leave a comment, then there's something else we can continue to talk about, much like what we do here on, you guys do on The Flow, we do on Creators Unstuck. We talk with the people, not at the people. And that is the difference. And it's and I would say, like, even on, like, a host side, it's much more fun to look at it community-wise than audience-wise, because there's more we can work with.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's frame this real quick. Like, I think to the average person, right? And then we'll put anybody in this position. You are showing up, you're posting consistently, you're kind of wondering, no, it's not working. Now, first thing I would say, as we set this premise, is I kind of would like for people to design or define, sorry. I would like for people in the audience right now, chat, what I meant to say. I'm looking at the word audience. Chat, I want you to describe to me what your consistency looks like. Really explain it. Because I think there's a bunch of different conversations around consistency, and we could get into that. I think we could do an entire month of content every day about consistency and what consistency looks like. And, I do want to allow people, and something that people always talk about as well, I don't want to, make myself tired. I hate that word. I don't want to make the audience tired of me, so forth and et cetera. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a second, but I don't think that's really what it is. And also remember, in sports, if you're into that such a situation, or even like your favorite show, they'll go 8 episodes. They'll pull back for like 2 or 3 weeks because it's sweeps week or it's pilots week or it's award show week or whatever. Like they just disappear like middle December and they come back into January and start the second half of the season. And they do that on purpose to give everyone somewhat of a break. But they do it all the time. All your favorite shows, your 22 episodes or 15 episodes a season shows, anything higher than 10, they do it in 2 parts. They do beginning of the season, then there's a break, then there's another season. There's a winter break or a spring break or summer break in most cases. Shows disappear in June, come back in September. Shows that disappear in December, come back at the end of January. And shows that disappear at the end of February, come back beginning of April. This has been going on since we were little wee children. So that just because you take a break don't mean you're not consistent. You can build the breaks into your consistency. And again, we're going to try to close the gap between sort of creating content and building that community. And I just want to remind you, the big statement is that growth isn't about volume. It's about connection. I think that's important. I think that's a big, important statement to connect in because, the common thought automatically is I just need to post more. I'm going to say, yeah, but there's more to it because I think people post and ghost. So what is that? When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
You post and ghost is we posted something, we put our work into it, we showed up for our friend, and then we disappear for 6 months, right? You post and you ghost. And if that's what your thing is, where you really only show up a month once every 6 months, that could be your version of consistency, right? But aside from just your cadence of posting, consistency is also, like, your consistency in your point of view, in how you show up, in your personality, in the way that you connect. That's a different version of consistency that you absolutely have a hold of. You just might not think you do or want
Correct.
to.
All right, let's
You know,
hope I did
y
this right.
you are consistent in that.
Listen, this is so true from Ate MC. She says, community is not how wide, it's how deep you nurture that relationship. And I think that's a very, very valid
Whew,
point.
Marianne.
Right? Right? Ate come through with the heaters. Like, that's a very, very valid point because what happens? Okay, Marianne's a good example. She shows up in the community. She was brand new. And then I immediately saw her smiling face in the avatar. I say stuff to her. I talk to her. Like, sometimes I talk to her like the rest of y'all ain't even here. Same thing with my homie Demetra. I seen her. She just reminds me of my friend's mom when I grew up. Um, my buddies, like, they had a store like in the neighborhood, and so we used to always go there after school and get snacks, or the grandma would always try to feed us. And it was as the first time in my life I ever heard of a gyro. And then once I found out, it was over. Like, I'd be eating that all the time. And the grandma used to always give me the lemon soup. And so when I seen her, she just kind of reminded me of somebody I knew growing up. And so I just immediately connect with D. And I always got stuff to say to her. Like, when she come in the chat, I'm like, oh, here she come. Here come trouble, Or she's not here today, Paula Marie. Like, when we see people in the chat, we talk to them. Family, I know you're nervous. I know you're concentrating on your show, but always greet the new people, right? Find that connectivity with each individual person. Nobody understands me when I tell George Vigets Abhama, like, he understands that. That's the end of my German. I can say 4 things. Well, my BMW, I can say. I got 4 things in my catalog. Nichts verstanden Deutsch. I don't understand German. I can say that. But, like, when I see new people, like, I'm going to connect with them because I want to know who they are. Like, I genuinely are like that in real life. So if you're not like that in real life, maybe before you try to build an online community, start signing up for mixers. Go out and get in the mix. Look, Lou be out here in LA. She's a lady about town. She go to these creator events. She go to some producer events. Like, she be out there, got a little cocktail in her hand. I see her get fit. She got a bunch of outfits, y'all. She throw little outfits on, and then she be out here. Look at her social media. You see her. She goes out and she gets into things. And I'm not telling you to go build 1,000,000 friends, but you're going to have doing this online, connecting with people online, is extremely difficult. So if you can't do that skill in real life, you're definitely going to have a hard time doing it online. And that's okay. That means you're going to have to put more attention into it. But if you want to make it easy for yourself, go find a random event about crocheting, if you're into that, and go get into that, right? If there's a random event about Mediterranean cooking, go get into that. If there's a random event about Jeremy's into spotting planes, right? Jeremy finds that there's a thing in Seattle for a bunch of other aeronautics nerds, go to that. And, like, even if you just observe once, you can see how people move in that space. You know how to create content for that space. So I think that's a good one. Okay, so let's go into some of the next points. Listen, they messed up. They let us in here today. Okay, so let's define the primary difference between, and actually to cover Ate MC's statement about just getting views versus building the connection. Like, I think you can build a connection into your content. So as a consummate producer, what does that look like to you?
So on the topic of, like, views, right? Views does not equal community, right? Community and views, these are separate things. I had a video go viral over sometime, like, when Reels first came out. Like, like 4 million views. He's like, the platform, the Reels was new, all of this stuff. Tons of followers, tons of comments on that video, but that's not the kind of content I usually make. It was just like a joke that I made of like Will and I doing chores and not of my normal stuff for my community. So great, that got a lot of views, amazing. But that didn't create any community. It was fun, it was cute, but that I knew that. I knew posting that was not part of community. That was just for funsies, and it happened to go viral. But the content that is going to connect with people, you won't really know that unless you are in your community, unless you are talking to people, unless you are actually being human to human with the other humans that are on the other side of this. Because I do think a lot of times people create and you think it's just you and the camera. But if you want to produce something really good and really meaningful and really get a message across, it's you and someone. You and someone, not you and the camera. This is not a solo player game, you know? So the connection is, you can make stuff that people are curious about, that inflame them. You can trigger views, you can trigger engagement, but is it community? Is it coming from a place of caring? And that kind of is what the difference is for me.
Okay, so this this is important. I think everybody needs to double check this portion of it. I think first of all, who are you creating content for? Now, I've given people a bunch of scenarios, and for my AI users, this is actually very simple. For the people that refuse to use AI, it's still simple, but it's a little harder. All right. So for the AI folks, what you want to do, get your favorite bot tool out. It doesn't matter whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, whoever. And it works better if you're using the voice mode, but you could totally type it out if you don't want to talk to your bot. And if you don't want to talk to your bot, you can have a hard time talking to real people too. I'm just saying, get over that. Learn to talk to your bot.
Yeah.
I'll be real. Katie would defend you. Marielou is on my side, so sorry, you guys are in trouble today. Put your bot on and say, okay, I'm going to pick on George because George is in the comments, and I know what he's about to build. So George is about to make a new community for vintage people of a certain vintage who are creating content, specifically live streaming. Okay, because if you notice right now, a whole bunch of brand new creators coming out there with crusty, dusty gray beards and glasses on a chain. Like that's a thing. It's really blowing up. Like silver YouTube, silver TikTok, silver Instagram, silver social media is blowing up. And so George is smart. He's going to get in the game. So before he starts this, you open up the bot and you say, okay, chat, I want to create a community called Silver Streamers, and it's going to be for creators, say over 50, who are trying to, create content, and maybe they're a little intimidated by the tech. Maybe they're a little intimidated by their slow start to, getting on computers. Computers is still, flashing 12, as we call them. Chat wouldn't know what that is. And I want to make sure that I am targeting the right audience. Interview me and ask me as many questions as possible until we're absolutely clear on who I'm talking to. Ask me questions so that I can answer them. One important thing to say, ask me the questions one at a time and wait for me to say next question. If you don't, it'll cut you off. That's all you got to do. All you need to remember out of that thing is wait for me to say next question. But let it interview you. And let it interview and go deeper, deeper, deeper. And if the questions are too shallow, be like, nah, dog, ask me deeper questions. Because it will get out of you the same thing that Lou or I would get out of you if we were sitting there drilling you on this. If you can get to who you are talking to, you've solved a massive problem. A bunch of people will tell you who they think they're talking to. If you look at your YouTube stats, it's a little different. Now, just because your audience isn't who you want, right? You can say, these are the people that are showing up and I respect their gangster, but I'm looking for my crowd. How do I tune my content to make it a little more elucidating to the crowd I want and a little less inviting to the crowd I don't want? It will tell you, you know? So
I've done it. Yes.
I've told Claude specifically, if I start to sound like this person, this person, this person, and this person, holla at your mans, because I'm not trying to invite that crowd into my thing. I am very brutal who I want. I want content creators that do. I don't mind beginners if the beginner is going to keep showing up and keep working, right? We have a new homie in the crew, Jessica Brooks. She show up every week. Demetra also shows up every week. She putting in the work, the same work that Marianne did like a year ago. And now look, Marianne got a wrench. She's out here creating videos, for Ecamm. She put in the work, like she climbed up. There's a whole bunch of beginners, no shade on them, but these are facts. A whole bunch of people who have been in the beginning stage for pushing 4 or 5 years because they're not actually putting in the work, right? And it's okay. If that's what you want to do, I ain't mad at you, but I'm telling you, I can show you what it looks like because we have a couple of great examples in the chat. Marianne, George, Demetra, probably some other people that I'm missing. Even Jeremy. Jeremy started out, he was, newbie, jumped in. Now Jeremy's a moderator. He's out here he showed up in Seattle and have his kid make me look stupid in Starbucks.
With our nephew.
Nephew. How's my nephew, JH? He clowned me. Nephew clowned me in public, and I will always admit to that because it was pretty funny. What's in the what is a pink drink? It's a pink drink.
Oh, it was beautiful, you guys.
Listen,
You
man.
would not believe just the glory of Doc getting docked. It was
By
wild.
Jeremy's son.
Went from a little Gen Z who was like deadpan. It's a pink drink.
I'm like, listen, nephew, let me explain something to you.
I think that stopped us in the street.
Yeah,
but
it was pretty funny.
but even that joke, okay? So if we think about the reason that particular thing was funny is because it's specific to this scenario, to the people who are in this situation. We all know Doc loves to give us back the hard truth that you're like, oh yeah, that was pretty obvious, right? So for like this specifically to get knocked back to him for this audience, for this group, for this community, amazing, wonderful, beautiful moment.
I'm just glad nobody
Intentional,
got into a
right?
video.
No, that was for us, right? It was for us, but like if you even think about that kind of consistency in character for Doc, right? So there's like consistency in showing up. There's consistency in pressing go, pressing record. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We understand reps. You understand if you don't go to the gym, you're not going to change your body, right? You're not going to see results for fitness, right? But consistency in how you act and how you are and who you are, that's specific to you, that is on purpose, is intentional, right? That's the like you're attracting one audience, but you're not attracting the one that you want, then you need to produce and be intentional about what you're making that will create the content for that person. And then something that's repeatable so you can actually do it.
Correct.
Like that is the key to all of it, because intent. So what Doc's talking about, talking to your AI about who are you making this stuff for? I straight up did this like 2 days ago. I basically brain dumped everything about who I am, but said as the audience. So I said, you are this person. And I described all the like just weird things about me where it's like AI positive, but tutorials makes her head spin. She wants to help people, but she doesn't want to be a coach. She is obsessed with fashion and movies, but doesn't want, like I just went all the things. And then I uploaded my random ideas list that like you have like a running notes of like ideas with nowhere to go. I just had like a list. And I uploaded that into the Claude, and I was like, what does that gal watch on the internet? And it built me a show. It built me the concept that I've been trying to crack for a really long time, because is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Consistency is not just like the niche. It's like, who are you? And how are you showing up for the people? What is your personality? What is your point of view? Like, Doc and I feel like our consistency is strong in our point of view and how we show up.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Even us together. It's well, no, like, it's not that, it's that, like, it's straight shooting love.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
that's
it
what it
really
is. Yeah.
is. And with us together, there's a consistent, um, dynamic, right? So whenever somebody's gonna come into this and be like, "Is this Creators Unstuck?" Right? It's a different show, but, like,
Yeah.
when you put us together, there's a consistent identity, and
And
you should have
I
that
really
too.
like this, and I want him it's, James, pointed out aptly, right? So, James is making sure you guys hear him clearly, build that avatar who you wanna serve, and build a
Mm,
community around that and for that, 100%. Even James, who's been very consistent about showing up, I know what he's working on, and once he, starts rolling this stuff out, it's gonna be glorious, and a whole bunch of us gonna need to be there. So, it's really cool when you see people doing that work. Now, we're gonna back into something really important. And it's funny because I literally had this problem yesterday. It says, okay, what about overcomplicating things? Right? Too much setup, too much editing, too many decisions. This is what causes that inconsistency in your format and your frequencies. Your audience doesn't know what to expect, right? And in a way, this is a key statement. Write this down. You're trying to be good instead of trying to be clear. And a whole bunch of people are trying so hard for perfection. And what you should look for is clarity of message. I'm going to say it 2 more times because somebody once told me if you say it 3 times, they'll hear you. You're trying to be perfect, but what you should try to be is more clear. Now, everybody has this moment. And moms, holler in the chat. What is your statement to your kids when you're trying to tell them? My mom's Korean. Right? My real mom passed. My adopted mom's Korean. She don't even say nothing. She just got that look. And we tease Keith Pelzers, his wife Tina. She'll be like, with the finger straight down, let me be clear. She'll actually say the exact words. When she does this, let me be clear, you are about to get read like the Encyclopedia Britannica. She about to get you. You know how the speed readers go like this down the page? That's what that finger's for. You're about to catch it. So think about that. What was your mom's clarity statement when she was about to tell you, say something else to make another sound? That's the clarity that you want, right? Because, moms would be like, hey, Marielou, can you get that? And you'd be like, oh, okay. And, she's in there, she's listening to her music. She got her little book out. She's writing. She's doing her thing. Mom walked by the kitchen. Dishes is still dishes. And then she's going to say, Mary Lou Ann, uh-oh, you closer. You closer to
mhm.
catching one. And then he's like, okay, mom, okay, I'm almost ready. And then she just walked by and she opened the door and she has the slipper in her hand. No more words. You just get up, drop what you're doing because you're about to ruin the image and style you used to, and you go straight to the kitchen. And all you hear is dishes and hot water. Think about that. How clear are you? You need to be mom, slipper in hand, clear. Mom, ruler in hand, clear. Mom, pull down the glasses, look at you like this in church. You need to be that clear instead of being perfect. Mom's was never perfect. Mom's was always clear.
Yes. And that's, like, on the sense of being perfect and being good, right? So there's, like, producing a good show, like, a lot of people are worried in this world, "How do I make a good show? How do I make a perfect show technically? How do I show up and I talk and then I'm a robot and then whatever?" But there's also the good, the perfect of trying to make everyone happy. That is part of it, is you cannot make everyone happy. So trying to be good for everyone means you are whatever. Be good and aligned with your community that you're trying to build is much stronger and much clearer than I'm for everyone. I can do anything.
Oh, perfect example. Oh my God. So when we went to Seattle, that first night we got hungry. We went to that spot that's supposed to be one of the bomb burger spots in Seattle on 2nd Avenue, right? We went down there, we had the burger, sit outside, and then, I might have got almost in trouble. Um, and that was a amazing restaurant. The decor is pretty, like the lights are pretty, menus are dope. Outside is, nice little ambiance, like 5 out of 5 in perfection. When I went 3 weeks ago, I went up Capitol Hill, same hotel I stayed in, but we went up Capitol Hill, which is a short little walk. It's a big ass hill though. And we went to something called Woody's. I think that's correct. And it's what you would classify as a hole in the wall burger shop. No fancy. You know what the menu is? Painted on the wall. The tables, they made them in their backyard, right? Was the burger better? Levels. I'm talking, when they say there's levels to this ish, I mean levels above the fancy place. Woody's is caring about the quality of your meal. The other place, whose name escapes me, but Jeremy will correct me in the chat, they're caring about, you got a decent meal for the 2nd Avenue price, 2nd Street price, whatever the hell it is, and that they show up in magazines, front cover, because everything looked like it do. It's not the same. It's not the same. This is built for tourists. This is built to look cute. Woody's just trying to feed you like your auntie, like, hey, girl, you want a sandwich? Like, totally different, and it's because Capitol Hill's college vibe, right? Whereas down there is tourist vibe. Same thing. That's the type of thing we're talking about. Okay. So how do you make it easier for your community? Where do you think the first friction in building community comes from, and how do you solve that?
It's the being for everybody. Like that, like you can make a show. Like the technical stuff is really not that difficult anymore. People like to make it difficult, but it doesn't need to be. So that's your brand, right? If you want to have like the super fancy restaurant where it takes a lot to build it, you need the special designers, like that's a brand. If you want to be the burger spot that painted the menu on the wall, that's a brand. So that's not even really the question. It's the being for everyone is your friction because you think you're going to just throw stuff out and it's going to catch someone, right? But you need to catch someone specific. You need to like be for someone. So that's what I always see is the first friction. But, doing reps, not actually doing it, that's a problem. Not being clear about what you're doing, that's a problem. Not energetically connecting,
Correct.
right? Because you do have to like open yourself. You have to like performance is a skill. Hosting is a skill. And when we're trying to make stuff and we're also trying to be on camera, like sometimes people forget to open themselves up. They're like, "What? I got the buttons and I got the thing and everything looks great." But you do have to energetically open yourself up to your community.
Correct. Okay, so I'll give you some examples because this really happened here for us at The Flow. We were doing fine. We're pushing 130 some odd episodes. Everything was going great. And then about 8 episodes ago, we said, okay, we're going to adjust this. We're going to make this show more show. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this to people in the Flow chat. I have mentioned it to people in other chat. But one of the things we picked up when we were in the UK last week in Birmingham is a guy named Charlie from YouTube mentioned that the TV numbers are just bananas. I mean, what it was last year was crazy, and we all talked about it. It's even bigger now. Like, it's absolutely bananas. And one of the things he said was you got to get your shows to look more like shows. You got to get your podcast to feel more like, a repeatable TV show. And Jeremy mentioned in the chat, how would you feel if Ted Lasso started with different characters every episode? People are loving that consistency. Jeremy's 100% right on that. Do not play that for your wife, Jeremy, that I said you was right, because I don't want her mad at me. Anyway, the thing that's important here is we decided to go with monthly themes. hence this theme is community, right? We decided to sort of build a repeatable episode structure. Now we're still tweaking this, right? I'm trying to get it to be even tighter than what we have it now. And then we do everything from a live to tape approach, right? So that means when this episode is done, I am going to merge our audios together using the technique, using Auphonic, just to make sure that Lou and I are on the same level. And that is about the end of my editing. The part where Mary Lou looked outside real quick to see if Will or Des has something to say, it's in the episode. I don't care. That's not a perfection thing. Everybody got somebody in their house making noise and you'd be like, man, I'm on the live stream. Shut up. Like that happens. So I don't need to edit that out, and you all know her, right? Again, when you're so polished, fam, you are scaring your people away. The people that need to hear you, the people that need to believe you, you are scaring them away by just coming in too cute, right? Now, everybody knows there's a time where back in the day, you got single. And if you happen to be a club rat, you went and got a new fit. Something about getting single caused you to get a new fit. I don't know why. It was what it is. You go out and you get a new fit, might get the her did, and you roll up
Get
into
your
the
breakup
spot.
bod.
You roll up to the spot and your brand new breakup fit, breakup attitude, whatever. You be in the spot all day. No, nobody talk to you. And you always and we used to say this too, like, how come when I'm single, ain't nobody got nothing to say? But as soon as I find somebody I like or, kind of on the question list, all of a sudden 5 other people pop out the woodwork because you made yourself available, dog. When you let down that persistent guard of trying to be the perfect individual and now you're a little bit more comfortable in your steez, you actually put on a different energy. And that invites people in. And then you're like, dang, first I'm out here like, every week, like hoping. And then now I finally got somebody talking to me, like all these other people pop up. You literally change the way you ride. It is exactly what goes down. Think about that. If you can run back to your college days, some of y'all are still out in these streets, but if you can run back to your college days and remember what that looked like, you have to make yourself available. So one of the first things to do, stop overthinking, stop making constant revisions. Bro, if you keep changing stuff, nobody can catch your vibe. You got to change it a little bit, let it ride, see what's working, revisit. Right? So pull back that curtains, as we say, open the kimono, not like that, don't be exposing yourself, but open the kimono a little bit, let folks in, start to figure out who you are, develop better conversations. And again, key element, connect with the people in your chat. So when somebody rolls in, like Tora, you got to say what's up to your people. I have watched you. Your people come in and you're so in your notes. You can't stop for a second to say what's up to Tora. Now, I'm not that crazy because she can fight. And I'm not trying to get caught at the grocery store. Doc, I'll be in the chat. You'll never put me on the screen. I'm not getting bust upside my head. So when I see Tora, I'm bow down. What's up, Tora? How you doing? You know that one person in school you say hi to because you just didn't want to be on their bad side? Tora.
But this is where like the repeatable formats come in because not everybody really can like think about what they're trying to talk about and then somebody comes in and then stay on topic, right? That is also a skill. But if you have your repeatable format where your audience knows you're going to go through point A and then we're going to go to comments and that's where you're going to talk to them.
Oh,
Now we
yes.
have a structure that people are used to.
This right here,
right? And
which I
now the
forget to
community
do, by the way,
understands.
Lou. That's what I made this for, right? I made this so that I can be like, shh, I'm videotaping, right? I literally made this so that we could have the opportunity to do exactly what you said. So correct. You may continue.
Yes, so repeatable formats. And when you set up your repeatable format, and like I love live to tape. I had loved live to tape for my whole life because editing is fun. I enjoy editing, but it is a bottleneck if you can do anything, then you will try to do anything. But if you have a format, then you just got to get done what you need to get done. And then when that's easy, you can build upon that.
Correct.
But having your repeatable format, like you have your go-to meals, right? We know today, like we just got to eat so we can make sure we eat healthy and we eat right for this week during the weekdays. So we got repeatable formats. You got your meals that you make over and over and over again. Maybe on the weekend, we got a little extra time. everything's feeling good, we can try something special. But the repeatable format keeps you on track so you can actually stay consistent, right?
Correct.
For yourself and for your community. Because then they give them something to expect. Like, you think about those procedural shows are the most popular. Like, they're not for me, but they're so popular because they are for a lot of people, because people watch it and they know what to expect. Reality shows, people know what to expect. So they're so popular, they do
Okay,
well
for the
because they're repeatable.
uninitiated, just in case anybody misses this or, say it in Australian, what is a procedural show? Actually, my favorite type of shows because they're easy to function, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a show where it's about the procedure, so it's like the same thing. It's like baddie of the week is what before I knew what the word procedural was, I was like, "Oh, it's a baddie of the week show," where there's a bad guy, the heroes chase after the bad guy, they get the bad guy, story's closed.
Law and Order.
Next week, same characters, same kind of style, but different baddie of the
Different
week.
baddie. Yes, Law and Order is the perfect example. Okay, and then SL said, many of us, yep, me too, had to evolve from underproducing to overproduce back to looking like you're underproduced, but you're really just being you. And this is very true. It does. A lot of people will go through these machinations. And I said something the other day that had my whole chat kind of froze. I think it was Friday. I said, I'm about to take this Rodecaster Duo and put it in a box. And yesterday I was trying, but I got messed up trying to do it. I'm trying to take out my Sony ZV-E1 and switch it to the Osmo Pocket 4 as the main camera, or my main camera energy is going to be the tail, which I have here. But then I just realized if I set this up this week and I got it perfect, I got to disconnect it next week and put it in the suitcase and take it again. So that might have to sit there and wait. But I want to bring some of the complication in my studio down for the simple reason that it's scaring people. And part of me is like, the hell with y'all. Like, I made my studio dope for me, but I can't keep doing that because I like it. It's a comfort space for me because I know that my picture is going to be dope. Like, I'm already just turned off the rest of it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put myself in a struggle bus so that y'all can understand it ain't struggle bus. You're psyching yourself out on that. So I'm going to make my studio uglier on purpose. It sounds really weird to say that, but yeah, I think that's an important aspect of it. So also,
but simplifying that is what helps you get to your audience quicker, more efficiently, right?
correct.
When there's a question, you can just do it, right? So sure, it could be complicated, and it could, like, folks like us, like, we want it. It's fun for us.
Yes.
To do that, right? Like, it's fun for us to get in the kitchen and to cook and to, like, play with new ingredients and have new toys, and that is fun for us. But for Doc to get to the audience he wants to talk to, it must be simplified so he can do it more efficiently.
100%. Yeah, it really is. It is about sort of the efficiency situation. And I think what this is going to allow you to do, and, Katie put this in the notes, it will lead to better conversations. It will lead to, somebody's going to say, hey, I noticed your picture changed. What happened? You know what I mean? And I kind of wish people would get off of that. I still see it to this day. It drives me crazy. Creators are there talking about something dope, right? I seen it recently. A creator was doing a legal analysis, and they're talking about something that's going on in legal easy type space right now. And then their setup is a little fly. Their audio is a little fly. People are in the chat with the questions like, oh, what camera and stuff are you using? And I'm like, I get that, dog. But like, either save it for the straight Q&A or send them an email or send them a DM or something. But like, you like derailing the whole conversation to ask about a camera and a light. Now, some creators ignore that stuff. Their producer tells them to ignore that stuff. And some creators, me, address it. And now we just sidetrack the whole conversation. Now it's gone. Now I'm talking about that and not what I'm supposed to be talking about. So my moderators and my community have learned to help control the people that come in because I'm giving them what they came for. And if somebody asks me a question and me trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, I'll answer that question and take an hour. And they're like, damn, we just lost a whole plot because somebody started talking about cheap wires. You know, that one catches me every time. Cheap wires.
No, it gets you. And And right, when you're building your community, this is like a benefit, right? If you're like, I don't see one of the benefits of building a community versus just an audience is that your community will have your back because now it's an energetic exchange. Like the community knows Doc will get distracted, but we are talking about a topic. So, community, Chow will come in and be like, yeah, 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 he's doing these things. Like, let's stay on topic though.
Yeah, because they know if Doc goes sideways, it's gone. It's absolutely gone. Mike said, by the way, I got to meet Mike in person last week. Man, amazing human being.
Oh,
Absolutely
fun.
love this guy. He said, Men from Uncle show, uh, inciting incident 1, flow 1, inciting incident 2, briefing at the headquarters 3, Napoleon solo, Ilya, and I can't say that name. Karyakin, there you go. Innocent recruitment, espionage, climax, debriefed. 100%. I haven't watched Men from Uncle for so long. I forgot about that. And we're too young to realize it, but I bet you go back and watch it. It does keep that flow. And so D-Train said, when I started baking, I knew instantly that I wanted to teach it to anyone and everyone. So I stayed low tech. I love this. A lot of people think I gotta be the expert. Fam, if you teach people what you're learning while you're learning it, you'll notice on my personal channel, you will see a lot of stuff coming up about 3D printing because I'm learning it. And I just repeat it when I'm learning it because that makes it stay inside this old crusty melon. So yeah, I love that. Keep it low tech, make it more inviting. Matt said, it's the why, not the how. Why we're making this video, why this guest. Technical decisions are downstream of the creative ones. Tools without intent to produce content. Tools without intent produce content without shape. And thank you for that. Yes, it's me, Tools. I appreciate that. Matt, you were dead solid correct on that. And imagine this. You have a hammer and a screwdriver. And you say, I'm fixing to go build something. But the something is undefined. So you standing there with a hammer and a screwdriver. And we know this is true because there's definitely people who bought the camera, bought the Cam Link, bought the Rodecaster Pro, bought the microphone and lights, everything set up, sit at the table. What I'm supposed to make now? They don't know because they went down the mission and bought all the things and they don't know what to make yet. Had they took the phone and posted it up and started making videos and they tried talking about cars, I ain't feeling it. Started talking about football round, I ain't feeling it. Started talking about football oblong, I ain't feeling it. Start talking about, ancient mythology. It's closer. But then they find out, ooh, I like cooking. I like ancient mythology. Let's make the dishes from our favorite mythological stories. And now they got a cool niche with a cool channel and a cool community of people who came for the mythology, but found out, oh, we're going to learn how to make, unleavened bread. We're going to learn how to make, this kind of dish or that kind of dish. Or what was the recipes they served at the wedding, red wedding on Game of Thrones? So you're going to freeze a frame and you're going to see something and you go, okay, I'm going to make dragon eggs. There's no real dragon eggs. Doesn't matter. Your community's here for it. What were they eating in the Shire? All right, let's go. Now we're into the Tolkien trilogies, What kind of food did they have in the Shire? Now, then we can move to Diagon Alley. Like, what kind of food did they serve on Diagon? I can't even say it right because I always want to say diagonally. But what kind of food are they serving on Diagon Alley? What kind of food were they serving in the Wishing Hall? The hats are flying around and you fly past this chicken. And of course, there's already Harry Potter books with recipes because people have made this mess up. Go cook that. But you just built a whole community about cooking the joints from the fantasy world. And I've definitely been at watch parties where there's green Jello with Everclear in it, because of some TV show. I've been to like True Blood parties where we had, dark red shots. And I'll stop talking now because I might tell myself. But, it's just cool. Like that's the kind of stuff you can do. So the thing that we want to make sure, so we're going to get clear about who we're talking to. We want to create this repeatable format. We want to cut as many friction points as possible. As a matter of fact, you should go out of your way to try to cut one of your steps each week until you figure out what steps needed to be there and what steps didn't. When a person is making a recipe, they got the baseline and then they pull things out to see what holds scientifically, mathematically, taste-wise. Things that can't be pulled out, they leave it there. They cook that for a minute to get it consistent. Once they got it consistent, they're like, okay, I got 4 tastes. I need one more taste. What is it? So they start playing around with different umami. They're playing with soy sauce. They're playing with MSG. They're playing with kombu. I'm sorry, I'm going only into Japanese at the moment. We'll do Italian. They'll try different tomatoes because the different tomatoes will change that umami till they find that 5th taste. And now you have what you hear the chef say, it is a very rounded dish, but I did wish there was a little bit more consistency to the mash. So when you're watching Food Network and you hear that, when they say that dish was rounded in flavor, that means that they got all 5 tastes in that dish. And now the cooking show sort of revealed that to people. And now, it's funny to me being a long-term, cook where people are now discovering umami and the myriad forms of umami. Parmesan cheese is the Italian version of that, right? Tomatoes, another version of that. There's many forms of getting umami. Mushrooms, everybody's favorite, not mine, but everybody's favorite, right? So yeah, you're going to figure it out. Do that. Take everything out, get it bare bones, and then does it survive? If it doesn't, add it back slowly, but just don't change everything at once. And then measure your connection. And the fastest way to measure connection, get into the comments and answer each comment. The gold. Marielou does this better than most people. Paul C., who's in the chat up there somewhere, probably fixing his stuff in his shop. Answer all the comments. You can make whole videos out of the comments. I could look at these comments right now and find you entire videos in our comments. Entire videos built into the comments. All right, so we're going to try something. Marielou, because I know you can do this. I'm going to go to Flow Rider Say. All right, so Steve said, not long ago, I had 25 plus scenes for a standard show. Now it's 5. That's flow. Turn that into a video. Come on, you can do it. I'll put it back.
We got a little stuck. We're a little stuck. So we're going to break it down. You don't need to have 25. It's standard. Now 5. That is a flow. You only need 5. Intro, point 1, point 2, point 3. Get out of there.
There you go.
It just needs to be 5.
There you go. See, you can make a video straight out of the comments, right? And your community helps support you. They start watching for new viewers. Correct, right? Yes is me tool says. Also, if I clicked on your video, I came for a specific topic. As a viewer, I'd be frustrated if you're talking about something that I didn't click for. Okay, so people, listen to this comment that just came into the chat, right? Yes is Me Tools is telling you when they come for your video, stick to the topic. Now, we all going to meander, whatever, but do everything in your power to get back on the topic. And it's really important, remind them what they came for. Because maybe you weren't clear in your opening. Maybe you need to reinforce what they came for. So you always see this. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys today about the Osmo Pocket 4. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the specs and all of that. I want to show you why I think this camera will be a revolution for content creators. And so you're going on, you're talking, you're doing your thing. And you're like, again, I want to reiterate, I think that the Osmo Pocket 4 is going to be a revolution for content creators for these reasons. And if you stick around at the end, I'll give you my little checklist of how to get started. And then you're going to go through your thing, you're going to talk about it some more. So in conclusion, Osmo Pocket 4 will be one of the greatest cameras for content creators. And reality is, take it out of the box, turn it on, and for the first week, don't change any settings. Don't get caught trying to find the perfect settings, watching videos about the perfect settings. Make 20 videos with the factory settings before you touch anything, just so you get used to using the device as it is. And then you can spend some time getting pretty. Too many people buy these and they don't really use it. And then they be in the chat talking about, I bought one, but I still don't know how to use it. They designed it so you don't
But
need
you
to
gotta
know how
use
to
it.
use it. They designed it
Yeah.
so you could turn it on and make video, dog. My filmmaker friends effed you up. Yeah, so there you go. Cherie says, I feel like it's me, paralyzed by fear. Okay, let's cover this. I don't know how to belay your fears, but I can almost guarantee you the thing that you are most afraid of is not real. Because in reality, people ain't looking at it like that. I don't know exactly what you're afraid of, but I can tell you because I've been through all of these either myself or with other people. Most of what we're afraid of sits cleanly between the left ear and the right ear. And so, a phenomenal way to shake fear. Lean in. A phenomenal way to shake fear. Create a persona. Go in the alley, put on that uniform, and be that persona. So much so that if you watch some creators, they got the same fit every show. I've been explaining this to Jill. I don't have this problem. I'm not trying to be a weirdo, so I wear what I wear. But I was explaining to Jill, if you want people to get good with it, get them a fit that they never change. Putting on that uniform is like putting on your cape, putting on your Spider-Man joint, the pre-tech Spider-Man. The new tech Spider-Man looks a little weird. It looks like a scaled fish. But like the pre-tech Spider-Man, before he had like, metal shirt looking thing, like putting on that fit, Peter knew what he was fixing to do. He about to jump through the building, do that thing. Football players are wearing protection. Baseball players don't wear much protection, so we'll use them. Basketball players with no protection at all, we'll use them. I'm telling you, Jaylen Brown in his suit and Jaylen Brown in his jersey, two different people. Jaylen Brown is a Mensa level genius, like one of the smartest people in the planet, like highest grade point average of probably anybody in the NBA. When he put on that green jersey, he turns into a monster. He takes off the jersey, goes back on the internet. All right, let's break down the ancient Mesopotamians' sequestering of the jury. We will be talking. I was like, Jaylen Brown? That dude that be throwing elbows on the court? Yeah. So I would say give yourself a uniform and see if that works for you. That's why Marielou schooled me to stop clowning these childrens who be out here like, okay, chat, today we're going to talk about how to make good coffee. I'm like, why can't they use proper mic technique? And she like, they're using that as a defense mechanism. They're using it as a comfort blanket or whatever she said. I don't know what she said. She'll tell you.
Yeah, but like that feeling paralyzed, right? That we saw in the community. You share that here in the community. You feel like you're paralyzed, but nobody's paralyzing you. But I promise you other people in the community also feel paralyzed. So you sharing that breaks down the barrier just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because somebody else is like sitting there not commenting and it's like, oh, I thought I was the only one that felt paralyzed. I tell you, none of us are the only one. None of us. None of us are the only one for nothing. But you can do it.
Oh my God. Roy found me in the chat. Why Roy got to do this to me? Roy said, just make sure you aren't getting your dopamine rush from the wrong things. Get it from the things that move you forward. Yeah, because me buying new gear, Marielou said it before, like that we like the tech. We like playing with that stuff. That's our form of dopamine release, is getting something new and pressing all these things. This is so true. This is so true. I feel, Roy, I'm glad you bring this up. I feel that I'm getting slowly away from it because George would tell you, I picked up the Osmo Pocket 3 last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in country in a foreign land on vacation after the show was over Friday, where I had 2 solid days to take the camera, run through the streets of London, and shoot incredible footage to come and make this video. You know what? You know when I took it out of the box? Like, besides unpacking it to put it in my suitcase, I set it up yesterday sitting in the studio. So the old me would have ripped the package and been in the session instead of paying attention to what Simon was talking about. I would have been setting up the Osmo Pocket 4. And I'm like, I came here to see my dog Simon. I'm going to get what I came to get. I'm going to leave this joint in the box in my hotel room. I ain't fixing to open it. After the show was over, I'm hanging out with Rob. I'm hanging out with Jill and Paul C, who's in the chat, Paul Duncan. Like, then the whole Ecamm crew decided to go get high tea, So I'm like, leave it in the box, right? We're going to go hit the Team Botanical Gardens trip. I'm a street thug. I'm a gangster, but you know what I love? I love flowers. Don't know why. Could be my grandma, but I like flowers. Like, I will go to a botanical garden in the Las Vegas Raiders jersey with brass knuckles, but I'll be at a botanical garden. Say something, fool. These roses smell good, don't they? And then Katie is like, hey, man, smell the lilac. And so you got Beer Boss Mike and Street Thug myself. We in the botanical garden smelling lilacs like, the white ones smell different from the purple ones. And she's like, yeah, stupid. I'm like, we don't know. But like, I like me a botanical garden, right? So we did that. I left it in the box. Marielou just decided she didn't want to be here no more. So yeah, like you can get yourself psyched up, and I think thanks Roy for mentioning that. You can definitely get in that thing of buying things, chasing after that little bump. It's a different kind of bump. It's not the same bump from the 80s, but you do get that bump by buying gear. And so let's round this out real quick. And I want to appreciate this sentiment because I this is what we're here for. She said, I love you, Doc. I'll take it. I get all I need and needed your wisdom today. Thank you, Cherie. Like, I know you have something in there that's just, squeaking to get out. And please just make something today. Doesn't matter. Like, you don't even got to look at you. You can look at whatever else. If you're afraid today, make something. But Marielou is telling you the truth. Go on and say, hey, I want to ask this question to the chat. And you can walk around outside. Right? You can point it to the trees. If you got an animal, even better. You got a dog running around the yard, point at the dog and be like, I got this itch. I want to make content, but the fear is gutting me. What do you guys do when you know you got some content to make, but you're just damn scared? What are your coping mechanisms? Share it with me in the chat. And then all you did was dog, cat, birds running around in the backyard, and you post that, watch the comments. People will go, oh, I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's go. Marielou, in supposition, in closing, what happens when you're stuck? Like, what advice can you give to folks who are stuck?
It's exactly what you just explained to do. I did yesterday because I was having trouble filming outside. I used to be able to film outside and talk all the time. Now I'm just like, I'm feeling stuck. I'm a rip the Band-Aid off kind of girl. Like, fine, let's go jump into the pool and do the thing that's scaring me. So it was like I went out and to a coffee shop and filmed myself talking at the coffee shop, which, like, why did it feel crazy? I don't know. I used to do that all the time, but because of whatever reason. So rip the Band-Aid off. When I feel stuck, I go straight into the fire.
I think in a way, part of the reason why I feel it's funny now is because so many people make fun of other people who do it. But the people who are making fun of other people doing it secretly want to do it. They just don't think that they can bring something to the table. Trust me, everybody secretly wants to be a creator. Right? I'll tell you a really hilarious story, super fast. We're in Japan, and before, mother-in-law always, Mom, we gotta take this picture. Mom, we gotta take my hair, whatever. Dude, we walk around Japan and there's like a cool something. Yo, a girl will be walking and just stop suddenly and lean up on the rail and look at me like this. And I'm like, nani yatte no? Like, that's Japanese for, what are you doing? And she's like, mo shashin toru. Oh, you want me to, it means take a picture. Like, not, can you take a picture or will you take a picture? It's the mother look, take the damn picture. So before, the lady who was always not wanting to be on camera, now, like, she will find a spot and get cute, and she would post up, and she'd be like, and I'm like, Bob's is posing. Like, she is over here posing. Everybody wants to be a creator nowadays because she's been watching YouTube and she see all these people taking these lovely shots in these epic places. Now she got her little fits when we go somewhere. You know, she be cool. She leaned up against the taxi. Sean boy, what? Shashin Toru? Okay, so I can take pictures. And she shows them at the senior club. She be bragging, oh, my son-in-law took me to Japan. Look. You know what I'm saying? So
Look at
trust
that.
me, people. Trust me. Everybody wants to create that content. So handle yourself. Now, last thing, I need everybody to do this for your homework. Bring this to that week 3. Like, let us know where your friction is showing up in your process. And let us know what you're going to do to intentionally remove that friction. And also let us know how you're going to create that invitation for people to be with you. What not necessarily CTA, but it's like call to arms, right? That's a very militaristic statement, but you know, we be like, hey, where all my ADHD people represent? Yo, we come up, we like, you talking to me? You know, like we show up, right? So whatever that thing is for you, bring that energy and get those people. And even if Cherie, where all my scaredy cats at? Let's just rally around each other and hug it out, right? Boom, knock it out. Be that. Be who you are. Don't try to be me. Trust me, it's bad. And don't try to be Marielou. There's only one. The only one who spells it like that. So that's it. There you go. There you go. Flow Riders, this has been absolutely incredible. Marielou, if they want to catch up with you, how can they find you?
You find me at Marielou Mandl all over the internet.
There you go. Because if you find another person being heard, they're a lie. We got like an hour before we need to go do our other show. So if you need some more, go check out my regular channel because Lou and I will be there in an hour, keeping it going. And like Manu said, your homework, what are you struggling with, and make that content. See? I love it. People, if you want to know more, you want to hang out more, all you got to do is come and hang out with us here on The Flow. And the best way to get in contact with us is flow.ecamm.com. Once again, that's flow.eca2ms.com. That'll get you to the podcast. You can leave a review. You can leave questions. You can drop in your mailbag episodes. All of the information you need is over on the website. And big ups to Marielou for coming through and helping us out today. She's being the other Katie. So I will see you guys next week right here on The Flow. And as we say around these streets, Flow Riders.